Recovery efforts are still underway in multiple states across the southeast after Hurricanes Helene and Milton. And dozens of Wisconsinites who volunteer with the American Red Cross are deployed, helping in many different ways. In total, 58 Wisconsinites have been sent to Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, and Tennessee. One of those residents is Rebecca Rockhill from the Green Bay area. She was sent to North Carolina to help those impacted by Hurricane Helene. Rockhill says they're still finding people who haven't had access to power or water.
We also spend a great deal of time driving through the mountains, finding homes or often neighborhoods that have yet to be identified. Great pockets of need of individuals who simply have not received resources.
You can help at home by donating financially, donating blood, or by signing up to become a Red Cross volunteer. You can learn more on our website, WMTV15news.com.